The information provided by Trading Forex Price Action to you does not constitute personal financial advice. The information provided is of a general nature only and does not take into account your individual objectives, financial situation, or needs. It should not be used, relied upon, or treated as a substitute for specific professional advice.
Weekly Forecast.
Hey guys, this is the weekly forecast for May 24th through the 28th of 2021. Alright, we'll start off with the pound dollar. This is a monthly chart. We'll start off with an overview. So there's a week double bottom right here. And since week double bottoms typically do not go its target height, which is generally in this area right here, in the long term, I'm short biased, right back down to this pivot low as a target. However, since this double bottom still has a little bit of strength left long in this move, in the medium term, I'm long biased, right back up to this pivot high right here. And currently, since there's a little bit of strength still left down in this move, in the short term, I'm short biased, right back down to this pivot low right here. Alright, let's talk entries. Okay, this is the weekly chart. Let me explain the setup I've been looking at for the past couple of months. So there was a strong short trade right here, then a week long trade form. So as price pulled back, I was looking for shorts right back down to this pivot low as a target right here. And that target has been hit right here. And now at the moment, I'm waiting for another weekly long trade to form so I could gauge its strength. And if this long trade is stronger than this short trade, then that's along with my medium term bias. So I'll take a long right back up to this pivot high as a target. However, on the other hand, if this long trade is weaker than this short trade, then again, I'll be waiting for a pullback as much as possible so I could take a short right back down to this new pivot low as a target. Alright, so for the time being, that's still the basic setup I'm looking at. However, there is a scenario where this long trade does not form and price goes straight to our medium term target at this pivot high up here. Right here. So let me explain that scenario to you. So if price on the lower time frames can make strong long price action, so if you can make compact price action where the width between each peak is very small, indicating strong long strength, if that happens, it is likely that price will go straight to its medium term target at this pivot high right here and not make that next long trade on this weekly chart. However, for the time being, although price got very close to that medium-term target at this pivot high right here, at the moment, this strong long price action has not formed yet. So since this lower time frame, compact price action has not formed yet, I am still expecting price to make this weekly long trade at this moment in time. So based on that idea, I've been taking intraday short trades with a stop loss at this pivot high right here, and its first target being here, and his second target being here. So let me go ahead and update you on those intraday trades I've been taking. Alright, so let's go down to the daily chart. Alright, so on this daily chart, last week I told you I took that short trade roughly at this 1.4170 level with a stop loss right here at this pivot high and his first target being right here. And moreover, on Friday night, I took another short position at this 1.4220 level, with again the same stop loss right up here at this pivot high and this first target right here. However, at the close of Friday night's session, I took out 90% of both positions, roughly at this 1.4150 level. Now the reason why I took out 90% of my position is due to a fake double top that formed on the 4-hour and 1-hour charts. So let me show you that real quick. Alright, so on this 4-hour chart, a fake double top formed right here. Now, since this double top is a fake, this adds short-term long strength to every trade that forms on this time frame. So although I'm leaving 10% in right down to this first target right here, and possibly right down to its main target way down here, there is a possibility that although price may fall for a while, there's also the possibility that price could come right back up to stop out the short traders that took this fake double top with the stop loss be even at this pivot high right here. In which case I could take another intraday short with an even tighter stop loss, along with the weekly bias I mentioned earlier, and that stop loss being at that weekly pivot high roughly in this area. Okay, so for the time being, I'm just going to see if this setup happens. Now let me explain to you why I took that second intraday short trade last night. So let's go down to the 1 minute chart. Right, this is a 1 minute chart. Now this is roughly 2 days worth of data. Now as price pulled back rather strongly in the past couple of days, I was watching the 1 minute price action to see if there's any strong compact long price action at any of these levels. And although price was pulling back rather strong, there was never any sign of strong long price action on the lower time frames. And thus as price pulled back close to that weekly stop loss level, roughly in this area right here, I took another short entry right here, roughly at the 1.4220 level. Now as you can see, the stop loss on this trade was roughly 20 pips. And these trades are some of the best trades in terms of risk and reward. However, it is often very hard to take a short trade with such a tight stop loss right up here in a market that looks very strong long. So one thing I keep in mind is to not look at the actual price and rather look at the way price moves. So in other words, as price pulled back to my entry level, I was focusing on how price moved on this 1 minute chart. And as long as there was no compact price action indicating strong strength long, to me, no matter how fast price pulls back, I could view that pullback as just another opportunity to enter a short trade. Again, you want to focus on the way price moves and not the actual price itself. Alright, so let me go ahead and sum this up for you. Go back to the weekly chart. Okay, so on this weekly chart, ultimately I'm waiting for that next long trade to form so I could gauge its strength against this short trade and then decide whether to be long biased or short biased in the short term. However, there is a possibility that price goes straight to our medium term target right up at this pivot high right here. But in that case, there should be very strong long price action. In other words, compact price action on the lower time frames. So for the time being, as long as this strong long price action does not form, I'm willing to take short trades with a stop loss right back up at this pivot high right here, and its first target being right here, and ultimately its second target right here. Now, if you're having trouble understanding the terms I'm using in this forecast, please watch my price action trading course, for that course is designed to provide you the information necessary to understand these forecasts and analysis. Okay, so let's go on to the euro dollar. Alright, this is the monthly chart. We'll start off with an overview. So since this price action right here is very strong short, and this move still having a ways to go, in the long term, I'm short biased right back down to this pivot low right here. However, because of this breakout of this trend line from this pivot to this pivot right here, this breakout right here, in the medium term, I'm long biased right back up to this pivot high right here. However, since there's a little bit of short strength left in this move down at this point, in the short term, I'm short biased right back down to this pivot low right here. Okay, let's talk entries. Alright, this is a weekly chart. Let's go over the setup I've been looking at for the past couple of months. So there was a strong short trade right here, then a week long trade formed right here. So as price pulled back, I was looking for short entries right back down to this pivot low right here. And then the same thing happened again, a week long trade formed. So I was waiting for a pullback to take a short right back down to this new pivot low as a target. And that same thing happened right here. So another week long trade formed. So at this point, I'm waiting for a pullback so I could take a short right back down to this pivot low as a target. Alright, so that's the basic setup I'm looking at. Now in terms of entries, if you recall, in this area right here was where the last daily short trade was. And that stop loss being right here at that pivot high right here. And if you recall, I was mentioning that this daily short trade possibly already hit its target right here. And so I was mentioning we could expect a medium strength pullback right up to this daily short trade stop loss level right here. Now the reason why I expected price to get right back up to this level was because in my opinion, this daily short trade already hit its target right here. And when trades targets are hit, price normally just pulls right back to stop out the traders that are still short in that position, and that stop loss being right here. However, since that short-term bias is based on this weekly short trade right here, and in my opinion, that weekly target has not been hit at this level yet, as long as price does not reach this weekly stop loss level right here, I'm willing to take short trades right back down to this short-term target at this pivot low right here. Okay, so last week I was talking about if another weekly consecutive red candle forms this week, I was willing to take a short trade with a stop loss at that pivot high. However, that consecutive red candle did not form this week. So at this point, the way I'm looking to short this setup is if any strong trades in between this weekly stop loss level right here and current price forms on the lower time frames with the stop loss at its pivot high, and take that short trade right back down to that short-term target down here. And the other option is for price to make short compact price action. In other words, strong lower time frame short strength to form anywhere in between this stop loss level right here and current price. Now again, however, on this second option, since my stop loss is static at this pivot right here, I would prefer for price to give even better pullbacks close to this stop loss level, minimizing my risk for that short trade. Now typically I would just keep an eye on the 1 minute and 5 minute chart for any compact short strong price action to form where the width between each peak is very small to enter that short trade. However, there are some other general guidelines I do watch. So typically this compact price action forms on very strong levels. So let me just show you the levels I'm watching. The first one is on this weekly chart, so let's go ahead and zoom out. So it's this trend line from this pivot right here to this pivot right here. Price is right on it right now. And the other one is on the monthly chart, so let's go over there. All right, so on this monthly chart, this trend line right here from this pivot to this pivot right here, price is generally on it right now. So compact price action often forms on these very strong levels on the higher time frames. However, that is not necessarily the case for every situation. So I generally watch the 1 minute or 5 minute charts to see if this type of price action forms on those charts, roughly every 10 or 15 minutes or so. Alright, so there's one last thing I'm keeping in mind, so let me explain that to you. We'll go back to the weekly chart. Now the thing I'm keeping in mind always is that although I'm looking for a short trade at anywhere between current levels right now to the stop loss level right here, with the target being down here, I'm also watching for any strong long price action on the lower time frames where the width between each peak is extremely small. In which case this type of price action forms, price can still go straight to our medium term target right up here. So I'm always not leaving out that possibility. So basically I'm watching for short and long strong price action on the lower time frames constantly. Alright, so let's go on to the NZD USD pair. Okay, this is the weekly chart. We'll start off with an overview. So since this move up right here, starting from this range right here, was solely based on momentum, in the long term, I am short biased right back down to this pivot low right here. However, since a new short trade formed on this weekly chart this week right here, and since this short trade is only minimally stronger than this last long trade, and I'm waiting for further confirmation of which one is stronger, in the medium term, I am neutral biased. Okay, let's talk entries. Alright, this is a daily chart. So if you recall, the last long trade that formed was right here, with a stop loss being right here at this pivot low. So I was mentioning if I get a pullback close to this stop loss level, minimizing my risk, I was going to take a long targeting this pivot high right here. However, again, like I was mentioning, the price action right here, because it had a compact price action at this level, was very strong long. However, price still failed. I mentioned I was going to take very small targets for this pullback long trade. And so last week on my midweek analysis, I mentioned I took out the entire position roughly at this level right here. So at this point, even if price does pull back close to this last long trade stop loss level right here, I will not be taking any more long trades due to the price action right here, which was strong long but still failed, which indicates short-term short strength. Alright, so let me explain the medium-term bias because it changed from last week. So let's go over to the weekly chart. Alright, so on this weekly chart, like I explained in the overview, this week another short trade formed right here. And this short trade is only slightly stronger than this long trade. Thus the difference is minimal, so I'll be eyeing the lower time frames to see if we could get any strong long compact price action on the lower time frames, or any strong short compact price action on the lower time frames, which will indicate even further detailed differences in strength between this short trade and this long trade. That said, for the time being, since there is slightly a little bit more short strength here than this last long trade, if I get a pullback close to the stop loss level at this pivot high and the price action on the lower time frames remains weak long, in other words, if there's no compact price action long, I'm considering taking a short with its stop loss being right up here at this pivot high and its first target being right here. However, again, I need some further confirmation on the lower time frames at this point to confirm the entry on this short trade, so I'll keep you updated on the midweek analysis. Okay, so that's it for the weekly forecast. I hope you guys have a great week, guys, and thanks for watching. Okay, bye.